locked on Jimmy. Roman came out there more so to just to be like, okay, all right, you want to fuck stuff, you want to fuck shit up, okay, all right, just to let you know, I'm Tribal Chief. I whoop your ass at WrestleMania. I'll do it
Oh,
again,
bro.
and that's that. But
You
that's a
fucking with
little. They
Roman,
gave
bro.
us they gave
You
us a
fucking
little
Roman.
sample of that on SmackDown. So
You ain't
that,
getting
that
none of
that's
that
that's
potato
what
salad today.
Bro.
that's all I got to say on
The
that.
Hey,
only
Dre, like,
question, though,
God.
Dre, that I want to propose to you is with the women's tag team titles, what does Hunter have to do to reboot that whole disaster?
Well,
half tag
me
team.
That's a
personally,
lot,
me,
Dre.
me, me, me personally, I think the women's tag team titles are cursed. So I think they just need to just slow sell it. To be honest with you, like it seems like
Hold on, hold on.
every hold on,
Explain the
real fast,
slow
real
sell.
fast. Every
Explain the
tag
slow sell.
team, every women tag team who's became women tag team champions, either one of them got hurt or something else had happened to them. Well, regardless if it
I agree,
is
Christy. We
what
agree.
was it, Sonya Deville,
Okay.
Chelsea Green. Before that, it was
Liv
Liv
Morgan,
Morgan,
whoever.
Raquel. It was it's just like what's going on here. So it's just like I don't know. And
Right.
then the women tag team titles are supposed to appear on all three brands, and unfortunately, they just be on Raw sometimes. So
Yeah,
Right.
it's
barely that.
all lost up with that.
I
So do
mean,
you think there's a chance to reboot that part of the division, or
look what
do you think like
Baron
they
Corbin's
do?
getting. Look at all the stuff that he's doing on NXT now. He's getting more reutilized. Like he's getting to the point where you could see Baron Corbin being a dominant bad guy.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
loved
dude,
his motorcycle entrance and reintroducing his old music.
that's what I'm saying. Like it was something different because you've been seeing
That was
Baron play
perfect.
with these so many different hats. And this is something I will use Baron as a great example. Like, yes, as bad as that thing was with Karrion Cross, yes, he should have said something, but you also got to look at it like, okay, if you want that, let me play around with it. Let me do my thing with it. Not, okay, let's go dead set and do this and make me look absolutely ridiculous. That's something I wish that so many people would do. And I think Triple H is going to have that acknowledgement like, hey, we might give you something that's not what you want, but show me what you want out of what I'm giving you and take it and run with it.
Right.
That's
It-
something like I feel so many different wrestlers need to do. And a great example, and this is like with sports, with that transfer portal in college, man. Yeah, you're not going to be guaranteed to make on that starting roster, but okay, the way the athletes are now is like, oh, I can just go and transfer this week and go to a school, even though I might not make that team, but I'll just keep transferring until I make a team. Like if people just realize, okay, yes, I got the wrestling down. Now I need to find this character. I think Triple H is going to have that right mindset for us. So, yep. But before we put next topic, so everybody wants to say, like, what major superstar do you know really can make that impact for Triple H being ahead of creative?
Ooh.
I mean, it's a couple of people, man. Like
There's a couple of
LA
people.
Knight to be one of them. When
I
Drew
think LA Knight
McIntyre
just
goes
came
back to
organically. It wasn't even nobody in creative. It just
no, I'm
LA
just saying
Knight
with
showed
him.
up and it
No,
took it.
yeah, and I know. I'm just saying with Triple H in
LA
creative
Knight was
control, I feel
organic,
like
no
he's
doubt.
gonna, push LA Knight. So I think LA Knight he'll Drew McIntyre. I would love to see that.
Let me say this real quick,
What
Dre.
Shinsuke's doing.
Because what you
Go
said before, I wanted to say it like you said. Even last when I was on Commission Talks last time, I said this. Remember, I said I love LA Knight. He like you guys are saying, he organically became a big deal. He didn't.
Yeah.
Nobody pushed him. Nobody made him. He was even when he was bad. People were starting to kind of turn and start cheering for him. They loved they love all of that. But like you said, bro, and I said it last week, LA Knight going up against Roman right now, I'm not ready to see it yet. I'm sorry to say it. It's too fast. They threw him into it too fast.
But
I
no,
mean,
but this is what
even
they're
as a
gonna do.
test, even as a
This what
test,
they're gonna. I think this is what they're gonna do though. Obviously, the Bloodline is a heel group. You got Roman, you got Jimmy, you got Solo. One of Jimmy or Solo is going to get involved. So with him losing, everyone is going to even
I agree,
boo
Ray.
the
We agree.
Bloodline even more. So we're gonna like LA Knight and want to see him win. But yes, I do agree that I think it's too soon. But I think it's like I said, it's an opportunity to see
It's
if
a
he can
trial and
still have
error
a
thing.
big
Like,
I think. Listen, hold up, real quick. Let me
win
say it. Let me say it real
afterwards.
quick. I think
what up,
that
Tino?
they should have had
Yo.
LA Knight
It's a risk.
dethrone Gunther. I think that would have
Mm.
been a smarter decision. I think with him being,
I feel
white
like that's
hot,
what's going to happen. I feel like that's what's going to happen.
I feel like that would have been a better decision. There's too much going on with the
You know
bloodline.
what?
LA Knight don't need to be
That would have
included
been
in
good.
to take a loss at that.
If they do it in a positive way.
What's up, Tina? But here's my thing. Go back a minute. Why
Hey, Ray.
didn't you do that when he was facing Theory? You could have
Austin
done it
Theory?
there. Yeah, why didn't they do it there?
I like what they're
wouldn't
doing
have
with him
minded
right now.
it.
I like what they're doing with
Gunther
him right now.
makes more
Keep him what
sense.
he's doing.
Yeah,
Let
I would have
Gunther
definitely
do
said,
it. Let him-
take if they were to get LA Knight to go up against Gunther, I think that would have been a humongous
Appreciate it, bro.
story.
Appreciate it. Hope you
I think it
enjoy
would
it.
have been.
That
I mean,
would
we'll
shock-
see.
and it
It's
would
an idea,
shock a lot
but
of people.
yeah,
No,
it would let
I'm
him
not-
build too.
no. I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is you had one key moment when you were dealing with Austin Theory. Small spark. Now you have a bigger chance to do it with Gunther.
Yeah,
My thing is,
Gunther's not
How are
facing
you gonna
right
build
anytime
that?
soon.
how do you build that one though? Where is going to be that? Because we know how good he is.
They ain't slapping the Aquaman out of Roman yet.
I definitely think that would have been a perfect opportunity. That would have killed two birds, yo. Because who's gonna take out Gunther? LA Knight would have been a perfect opportunity. I think they missed it with that.
In a
They could
weird
have did
way, I would
Cena
love
and
Gable
Roman
to
at
do
Crown
it.
Jewel. Who gives a fuck about Crown Jewel, man? I mean,
I think maybe there'll be a
Back.
change in the Intercontinental title or something like that. Because obviously, like we just said, who's really caring about Crown Jewel? If a title changes in Crown Jewel, that is that
Yeah.
show now.
it's got to
Wait.
be the U.S. title will change like that. I can see that. Ray losing it to
Maybe.
Logan Paul,
Oh,
maybe
God.
that could be a
Fuck
deal.
Logan Paul with a 10-foot. Never mind.
No,
What?
he's a
Logan
great
Paul is
performer,
the
bro.
man, bro.
He's a great
I
fucking
hate
performer.
Logan Paul
I
with
would
a
love to
You
see
might
Logan Paul
hate him.
take that shit.
You might hate him, but that
I like
fucker
his
is doing
brother better.
amazing in the work. He's doing amazing work in wrestling.
I'm not
I will give
arguing
him
that,
that.
but I like his brother.
Hey
way
Ray,
better.
we on straight through the ropes
Are you
tonight at
talking-
9 if you're down. Sorry, I'm plugging on y'all. Shit. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
But
That's the
all
thing
I'm
about
saying
commission
is,
toss. We're always about
LA
colliding.
Knight would be one, but who do you pick in like a tag team or even the women that's gonna do what Warren's saying? Who's
You
gonna
gotta
be
get
that?
women tag teams for sure before we talk about tag team shit. They ain't no women's tag
Oh,
team.
They gotta have
absolutely.
some solidifying
One of the
tag
biggest
teams, like
things.
literally, like
Yeah.
They have no tag
Caitlyn
teams
Carter and the girl from
Carter,
American Ninja Warriors only really a tag team, honestly.
Yeah, you don't even see them backstage segments every week. You know, they ain't doing shit, standing around having fucking coffee talk. But I'm saying, like, there's a lot going on. Like we said,
That was
like the
above the
first question you
Walter
guys
just
got,
now.
Triple H's creativity is going down, and there's going to be a lot. You see, Tegan Knox is starting to get pushed a little bit more. The interaction
About
between
time.
NXT and Raw and SmackDown, everything's kind of intermingling and giving people a lot more time to shine. I think that's going to be a difference maker too. I think you bring up a good point too, Eric. Like to
Oh, I agree.
introduce the tag titles, get them shits back on all three shows. Let people
Yep.
who ain't doing shit
Just
just
like they're
get-
doing with the NXT title, that's perfect what they're doing right now.
yeah, man. Give
Perfect.
people
Because it's
opportunity.
Oh,
advertising.
absolutely.
I will tell you this right now. As much people want to talk about him, Dominic has made the most positive impact for NXT
Dominic,
in a long time.
boy, yeah.
Because
When
Dominic
you
is
got
making you
Dom-
watch the show to punch him in the face. That is what you're wanting
Oh.
to see every time
good
you
too,
watch
though.
it.
he's got
A little bit now.
nuclear
I mean, yeah,
heat.
yeah,
Can't
we-
teach
yeah.
that shit.
A little
What do
bit,
you want,
a little bit
hug
of it is having you
him?
watching. Look here, I'm tuning in to be honest with you, is seeing what happened with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, though. To be
Mm.
Oh,
honest
yeah,
with
yeah.
you.
Oh,
That-
that's
that'll
yeah,
be
good.
good.
That's gonna be
Uh,
But
I like
what I'm
Trick
saying
Williams,
with the
Trick,
North American
that-
title, how many people
Yes.
hold that title that made you go, that's why I watched this show? It hasn't
Yeah.
been often with that title.
Yeah, but you see, but the thing about what
And now it's
Dominic
there.
though, you see, the thing about Dominic and how they are able to just use him on all three brands is because one thing, he comes out and he gets massive heat. You
Yeah.
get massive heat. So that's
Yep.
the thing about Dominic though. And it's cool, man, especially being there live or even watching it, hearing every time he tries to speak and the whole arena boos him out, the arena or whatever. But
It's
for
getting
me,
louder
man,
every show too. That's even the crazier part.
yeah. And for me, I think it's the more like we said with this, and we've been on it for a little bit, but
Dude,
the
that's
in-depth
got
storytelling with what they doing in
That's
NXT,
nuclear
I think, Yeah.
It's
fun,
it's
man.
organic
Super
heat,
fun.
and that's something that
Dominic.
I will
has
say this: for
weird
LA
level
Knight,
heat.
this is a trial run to see
You
if
can't
he
teach
really
it.
can
Yes,
carry
that's
something.
all it is.
Yeah, but that's a trial run at the fucking advanced level. Like, it's not a trial run. You know what I mean? Like, it's a trial run.
I
at
mean, you
Ultra
got
Max.
John Cena's presence, so they're not gonna like deteriorate and kill
Well, look
him
where
off
he's been for
after this
12
match.
Yeah. Oh,
Look,
man.
this is what I see out of all of this, though.
That's
LA
what I
Knight
think they
no,
see
that would
it
be a
as
fucking
too. It's like,
LA
oh, he's been
Have
here for
John
so
Cena
long.
back there.
LA Knight is obviously not winning. It's going to be a reason why LA Knight loses. Someone's going to cause him the match, and then that's the storyline. He's going to go in as in
Cena
using
caused
chip
the
on
match.
his shoulder. Well, I don't know. But that would be
Come
great.
on,
But
that'd
he's
be
going to
fire.
use that would
That
be
would be
great. But I
fire.
think
He
LA
needs to
Knight
do a
will
heel turn
use.
before he's done.
Hold on. I think LA Knight will use that chip on his shoulder to bounce
He's already
back
said he'll
and
never do it.
saying like. And saying that, okay, man, you caused
They
me my
will.
match with the World Heavyweight Champ or the WWE title or whatever, regardless if he wasn't going to win or not, he'd get back to that though. But he's not winning. This is just something to just give LA Knight something,
Hey, man.
obviously not, to do. And also like a little test though, but somebody's going to cause him the match. Whether it
But
be,
Dre, like you just
you
said,
know-
just on your side, like you're saying, bro. Like, but don't you think that somebody who is potentially getting organic, like, love and support and dominant support, like this guy is getting cheers like Daniel Bryan, bro. Like, he's literally blowing up
He
the
is
studio.
Daniel Bryan this generation.
Do
I
you
think that's
that
the perfect
it's intelligent
description.
for them to take a risk of saying, "Hey, we're gonna put a automatic fall on you just to try to give you something like and put you
See,
in a
but
high
look,
caliber"?
Now and that's
what I mean, like-
interesting. But that's interesting that you brought up though. I remember when Daniel Bryan was red hot, and it was so many moments where they just pulled Daniel Bryan from under us, and the
Yeah.
crowd just kept eating up Daniel Bryan and eating up. When he had
Yeah.
a matchup with Randy Orton, they had to stop the match because Daniel Bryan was injured. Daniel Bryan wasn't even in the Royal Rumble. I don't think he was in the Elimination Chamber or something like that. It was just every moment they just kept pulling the rug from under Daniel Bryan, even though he just kept coming back and making the most out of it. And I
Yeah.
think that's what they're going to do with LA Knight. They're going to obviously give him these opportunities, even when he had the opportunities of trying to become the United States champion. And everybody was like, "What the hell are they doing?" And they
Yeah.
didn't give him United
Yeah.
States championship. They just pulled the
Or
rug
Money in
from
the
under us.
Bank.
And even Money in the Bank, man.
Yeah,
And
remember
people
all that
just kept eating up LA Knight. So I
Yeah.
think with this moment, LA Knight is
Yeah.
gonna make the most out. Yeah, he's gonna make the most
What?
out of it. They're gonna pull the rug from under him again.
What's wrong, guy?
And people are gonna keep eating up LA Knight.
You're right.
So, I mean, that's how I feel though.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I definitely can see it. I mean, I just hope that it doesn't get squashed, man. I think the
Yeah,
shit with
yeah,
Roman.
yeah.
I mean, look
So
at
good.
if you watch all the
That would
past Daniel Bryan
be a
matches,
Vince
what
move.
made Daniel Bryan relevant?
He was good.
18 seconds. That's why fans got behind him because they were like, how dare they do that at WrestleMania to him?
Really?
How
I don't
dare
think that's
they?
what got him over. I think Daniel Bryan is a
That's
whole.
what started
yes.
the whole yes movement. That's what started the yes movement.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly then, because I remember Daniel Bryan literally continuously was. First of all, he was an asshole when there was that whole vegan goat shit or whatever, and he had the face. He was doing the no stuff. He was. I don't know if this is before Kane. Daniel Bryan had a whole bunch of artillery that was kind of just letting the fans get behind him. He was
It was
smaller
after
guy.
Kane.
Punk
And he
leaving
was
was the big thing for him. And honestly, before Triple H was a head man of it, Triple H was very responsible of getting Daniel Bryan to what he was. John Cena was so behind him as well. Those two guys are what really got Daniel Bryan's stardom to get rising because they saw something in Daniel. Because they said, Daniel Bryan reminded them of, people might not agree to it. Shawn Michaels said it reminded him of him. Everybody thought he was too small. They thought he wasn't going to be able to hang with everybody. He wasn't going to be able to do these things. And you saw, like, honestly, still one to this day, one of the main WrestleManias we still talk about is Daniel Bryan's. The Yes-A-Mania.
The underdog story.
It was
Everybody loves the
beautiful
underdog story, bro. Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, remember when Daniel Bryan started getting that big push, that was when Cena got injured, and people were kind of like LA Knight now.
The next guy, yeah.
Naturally, are just started getting behind Daniel Bryan because he had a lot of character. He was good in the ring. He was small, but he was still holding his own. It's an underdog story. Same thing with Kofi. Kofi Mania. It's an underdog story. Kofi was there forever. He didn't get the chances. It's always an underdog story. People that go under. I don't feel like LA Knight falls under the category of underdog story. He kind of does because he's got a lot of longevity in the industry, but not in WWE. So
you didn't see that with the Miz. You didn't see that with the Miz as a
Miz is one of the most underrated, slept-on fucking superstars in wrestling history. But at the same time, he's not
Hall of Fame speech. Miz is going to be a reckoning for everybody's recognitions every single time.
Miz is incredible, bro. On the mic, and not so much ring skills, but just as far as longevity.
Hold up. That match he did with LA Knight, he carried LA Knight in that match.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing this shit for 30 years. He better be decent, but I'm saying he's not. You're not watching him for his ring ability. Yeah, you're not watching him for his ring ability like that. I mean,
Miz.
To be honest, we all are fans of wrestling here, and I think with this whole topic here, I think we are more fans of.
It makes it exciting. It's making it something to feel.
Yeah. But that's what drove us in is the storytelling, though.
Yeah,
now,
for real.
If you got 8 matches on the card, like that's cool though. But what story?
What's gonna happen?
What's going to happen?
Fun shit. Yeah.
And I think necessarily I tune in for the wrestling. I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna be a nice match though. But man, tell me some story, and that's what really moves it on though. I mean, I don't think
the weird thing about me, I love promos more than the matches at times now because I watch so much wrestling. I do the damn thing, so it's like you're doing it so much. Like, what makes you different? Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, I remember when I saw somebody go to a WWE trial, they were like, yeah, you got the look, you got these things, but what makes you stand out to that small guy that I consider we could sign right now?
That's my whole point is that just about everybody, not everybody, but just about everybody could wrestle, but can you stand out and be something different? Real fast though. You got a team of 52 players on a football team, right? Everybody got a jersey, everybody got football pads, and they got a helmet though. Just about you could distinguish that all 52 players are football players, but if you have some charisma or you stand out, then that makes you that makes you sort of a superstar, and people can be they can resonate with you. So the wrestling is wrestling. That's cool. Everybody the DDT now. Everybody do a super kick. But can you tell me a fucking story and make me interested and develop?
And that's Miz.
Become
that's Miz.
And that's the Miz.
That's Miz.
That's the Miz.
He's a dominant character.
Some of his best work has been with LA Knight right now. In a while.
LA Knight over the few years or whatever.
No, he shot on LA Knight.
No one tunes into the Miz matches and be like, oh man, like I can't wait to see him. No,
thank you. That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
And be like, what ignorant shit he gonna do today? Like
you watch it to get him punched in the face. That's what you watch it.
Pretty much, like his character, what he's gonna do. Yeah, you're absolutely right, bro. That's exactly how I feel. That's what I mean. I'm not trying to diss him. I'm just saying honestly, even with LA Knight, he's not. I'm not watching thinking he's gonna pull off an AJ Styles, Seth Rollins 5-star killer. I'm watching because I can't wait to see my favorite guy kick ass. And what is he gonna do? Stone Cold, The Rock was really good in the ring, but these guys weren't like phenomenal technicians.
They were great in the ring, but when they got into their character standpoint, that's what really transcended and changed them.
And that's how I'm seeing this current roster. There are certain talent now coming out of their shell.
They're being more of an attraction. Like, look at the match that Ricochet just did. Triple H is now making you say, hey, man, this guy's not just a guy that can dance in the ring. This guy can be a character, be these things. Honestly, Ricochet could be a hell of a heel right now, in my opinion. I think that's something I would love to see.
A one-off. Don't get pissed. Bring the Prince Puma persona one time only, but make him heel with Conan.
No.
Because Conan knows how to make a heel.
Ricochet fucking boring to me, yo. I'll say it. I said it, all right?
He's got to get
one
his
thing about
character.
Ricochet.
That's the
I
only
want to
thing,
say
bro.
one
He
thing about
can
Ricochet.
dance the ring. That's what he is.
Best thing he got is Samantha Irvin. I said it. What the fuck?
Hey,
Oh,
you're
God
right,
damn.
Brian B. Though, real fast. I want to say one thing about Ricochet though.
Out.
After SummerSlam,
Out.
Ricochet, I felt like Ricochet should have still went
That being
up.
said,
It seemed like when Ricochet had that big match with Logan Paul, he just stayed steady.
Same
Logan Paul
shit.
made a good point. He
in
made
a
good
way,
point. I don't.
Wow.
Hold on.
Logan Paul
Logan
won
Paul-
up Ricochet in that
Hold-
match. That's scary.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. But let me finish real fast though. Logan Paul made a great point. I don't really need this. You need it more.
You need it,
and when
yep.
Ricochet had that
Fucking
matchup,
right.
of course it was beautiful and all that like that. But it's Ricochet haven't done nothing after that besides do a 450 and do all these incredible moves. That's what's up. But I think Shinsuke wasn't gonna lose. He just came out
Hell
the program with Nakamura, and he's hot though. I still think you need a mouthpiece, but Ricochet though, I think if somebody, like he gets some wins and some momentum behind him, just prove that he just can't just do 450s out of the stand or
I'm
have
fucking with
his
Dre
wife-
tonight, yo. I'm
or
fucking with
have
Dre.
his
Dre my
wife-
tag partner tonight, yo.
or have his
He's
wife
saying what I
introduce him.
feel.
Like Samantha is more over than Ricochet for real.
Yeah.
bro. She's way
Dre,
more over.
Bro, how many times did I
telling you,
say
bro.
that? How many times did I say
Telling
this
you.
when we first started commission talks? When someone talked about they can't work, they can't do this. I said I don't look at their in-ring ability. I look at what they can do as a character and what can they do with these things. Honestly, guys, I would say R-Truth is a little bit better of a worker at sometimes because guess what? He gives you a fucking
tell you.
experience. When
Yeah.
R-Truth comes in, you're either gonna laugh or you're gonna go, "Oh my god, I did never could have thought of what he would just done." He
Absolutely.
benefited a fucking title that was a handout just to be a joke.
Absolutely.
And that's something.
Absolutely.
And when I said this on Commission Talks, and Dre,
Absolutely.
you could quote me on this. I said that 24/7 title, as bad as that is, it's going to be one of the most talked about things by that year because
And he made it that.
R-Truth, Maverick, Drake, all those guys sat there and was like, "Oh, if I got to get TV time, I'm going to make that title."
Right.
So what they do, they traveled it on actual TV. They did it on a news station for a little bit.
7-Eleven, 962.
They done it at 7-Elevens. Like you got
God
endorsements
damn.
on these
Incredible.
things because you made it a standpoint factor. That is something like I tell people: if you got something, fucking take it and run with
Run
that
with
sucker
it.
as much
Yeah.
as you can.
Absolutely.
I'm a U.S. character.
And think
Yes,
about
I can
this.
be that original generic character, but dadgummit, I'm gonna be one of the most talked about at the end of that fucking show. That's the main thing I tell people all the time. If you can have someone that has a character that tells a story and makes you have an emotional feel to it, you have done your job.
Yo,
That's
look
what
at
makes the difference.
look at Tozawa on this week's episode of Raw, man. In the
Oh
background
my
with Chad and them.
goodness. That's what
How
we're talking
more
about.
entertaining
That's
is
what
he
we
now
talking
compared to
about.
what he is in the
Like,
ring?
come on,
I-
bro. He
put him
didn't
with the
even
faction.
he ain't say much, and all he just doing is just like, come on, dog. Like,
Put him with the faction.
Come
I want to
on.
see it every week now.
And this is
And-
the
and-
same
and-
guy that
and-
was getting
and-
slammed by women.
even the stuff he been doing.
Hold up. Who are you talking about?
Yeah,
Tozawa.
but even the stuff over the last, even the stuff
Damn.
over the last couple of weeks though, he haven't been doing much. But soon someone come into the ring, he turned right back around. Like,
Yeah.
it's just that
Character.
it's the little stuff, man.
Bro, that
Yeah.
used to be
Simple
wrestling.
stuff, that's what
That
makes the
used to be
interaction look
wrestling,
more.
bro. That used to be what
Bro.
wrestling was. Yo, Dwight the
Attitude
Clown,
era.
Razor
That's all it
Ramon.
was.
That
That's
used
all
to be
it was.
wrestling.
Here's
I'm
what-
telling you right now.
Hang on. One of the
In the
things
attitude
that I
era,
think
what
is
matches are
so-
more memorable just based off of matches?
Shit, there was so many. Giant Gonzalez and Undertaker. That wasn't barely a fucking match, but it was one of the most looked at shit that you want. The
Hang on.
casket match,
You know why we
Yokozuna,
look at that to this day?
so much.
Hang on. You want to know why it's still talked about to this day? And Taker said it best. It was the fucking shits.
Yeah, it was great.
Said it best. It was a great thing because it helped, with the streak. But I think one of the things that most casual fans don't see, and we've been talking about a lot of it, is the way some casual fans might construe it. Best example is the streak. I had friends of mine sitting with me the night that streak got ended by Brock.
Some bullshit.
We all know what that sounded
It was
like
a
in
shock,
the
bro.
arena.
It was a shock.
That was what it sounded like.
It was a shocker for the wrong reason.
So
It was.
Brock should have
It
never
was.
fucking ended that streak. He had no reason to. Nothing was gained from
No
anybody from that
reason.
shit.
But it was
Nobody
believable.
understood.
It's believable, but that's not
Yeah,
enough of a reason to
regardless
end a fucking
Nah,
20-year
yeah,
streak.
yeah, regardless
Like,
of if it
come on.
was believable.
Honestly,
like,
I believe
Brock
Undertaker
Lesnar
should never
listen,
lost it.
Brock
The
Lesnar-
only
I
person
don't
that
think
should
so
have
either.
beaten him,
Now,
as much as I hate him, it's probably CM Punk. Because that year when he had
Yeah,
with
Punk,
Punk,
Yeah.
Shut
that
his
year
mouth.
he did the year that he did the Paul Bearer into the story right after
Yes,
Paul
and
Bearer
I was
passed, and it worked.
I remember I
worked.
was there and he did that. I remember one episode I was there going into wrestling.
He had that dust.
I
You really
think-
thought that was him?
It could have been
Yep.
CM Punk or
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt should have been the one.
Bray
who
Wyatt,
ended
I
it,
agree.
you know,
Bray Wyatt
Bray,
should
that-
have
that's
been
what
the
it should have
one.
been.
Orton.
Wyatt
I
ended
think
it.
Orton should have been one. I think Orton
No.
should have been it.
No,
Orton. I would at least liked
Bro.
Orton better than I like Brock.
WrestleMania 21 was one of my
Legend
favorite
killer. Legend killer
Undertaker
Orton.
matches. Yes.
one. Here's something that a lot.
Hold on.
wedding
We gotta go to
fans-
the next topic. We
Yeah,
gotta
Okay,
this
yeah.
is a good topic, though. Good topic.
Yeah,
The biggest misconception of wrestling.
Next topic, guys.
That it's fake.
What's the biggest misconception of wrestling?
That was my shit right there, man. I saw that Ric Flair interview. I was like,
Yeah.
Rick is he's doing big things, man.
Wait,
Yeah, I want to
I'll
ask
go
y'all a
this-
question, but I don't want to fuck up the flow or the show and shit.
I'll just say these words. It's still real to me. Damn it.
I've
That
had
is-
numerous injuries from this so-called fake sport, but I'm gonna let Dre speak on it because this was Dre's topic. So, floor is yours, my
Yeah.
bro.
Man, when I saw the clip of it, I was like, I gotta go check this out, and I checked it out before. I was it yesterday before Monday Night Raw, and I thought it was a great question to ask Ric Flair. Though, one of the misconceptions of wrestling, and obviously, it's fake. Anytime I got wrestling on and someone over, they'd be like, oh man, you watch wrestling, it's fake. Yeah, like. Just about everything on TV, just about fake, and
That's fake.
people don't people don't understand, obviously the hard work and all the dedication that, and me personally, this was always me personally, I thought wrestlers should get paid more than football players or more than basketball players. Yeah, I know they go out there and taking hits and all that, but yeah, people say it's a fake sport and for what they get paid is be like, well, damn though. But I look at wrestling, man, as just like, man, it's a soap opera, man. And
Yeah.
just about every wrestling show I've been to, it was about an older person with me. It was an old lady, older man, more so it was older women. And they always express why they love wrestling because it just reminds them of soap operas. It's a story, man. You when they end the show, you want to know what's going to happen next week. So me personally, the biggest misconception of it is obviously, is it fake? And yeah, fake, basically. That's
I feel you, bro.
I don't know if it's
Yeah.
fake.
When I saw that, I
Yeah,
think fake is definitely the wrong word to
Bro.
use.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Say it. It's not about it being fake. It's about, I think, Ric Flair. I saw this interview too, and this was fucking just perfect, man. That's one of the things I really like. I actually want to do a whole show about how it is now to be able to experience the real life like industry, because we can do it now with podcasts
It
and
also
interviews.
kills
And stuff.
it too, though.
There's no
It kills
kayfabe.
our exposure.
You're right. That's why I would love to. I would shit commission talks. Y'all are more than well. I would love to do a show with you guys and talk about this shit honestly. But when Ric Flair was on the thing and he was literally saying things that people saying for years, oh, it's fake, it's it? Just like you said, when you ever talk anybody you say that's fake. Why do you watch it? What are they comparing it to? They're comparing it to UFC. They're comparing it to football. Or why do you watch this? It's nobody's gonna win. They know who's gonna win. Yeah, but that doesn't change the outcome. Just like you just said, Dre. You watch a fucking movie, you know that Will Smith really is gonna die and shit, but he might die in a movie. It's a story, and that's what we're watching it for. But you're demeaning these fucking athletes and these professionals and these superstars who are going in the ring 7 times a week, whatever, how many fucking times a week they're doing it at this point, and putting their bodies on the line, bro. Like literally, putting their bodies on the line for something that's not even like something that they can definitely know that, oh yeah, well, if I fight as hard as I possibly can, I'm still gonna be the champion for fucking 7-8 years at that because I'm fighting with all my might, fighting with all my life. No, they're putting their life on the line, knowing they're going to lose that match at the end of the night, you know, at the end of the day and shit like that or whatever. So it's even crazier. Like,
I want to say one last thing. I became more of a fan when I found out that it wasn't, you know, actually what it was. You know, I was
actually
like,
fighting. Yeah.
When I found out that it was a story and it was scripted, I said, "Oh, some motherfucker sit back and put this shit together." Like, man, this got to be one of the greatest things ever.
Yeah.
Like, I was done with it after that. And then when I was little, I saw Training Day, and Denzel got shot up, and I was like, "Oh shit, Denzel dead, man! Like, he dead." When I found out that it was just like a movie and shit, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, you know, like that's the little, you know, like, man, when Kane put Triple H on fire, no, not Triple H, JR. When Kane put JR on fire, was one of the most intense shit I ever saw as a kid, man.
Bro,
and I was just crazy, like, yo, this shit is wild,
bro. So I love how you talked about that story. Like, I will say, you know, me getting into this business and, you know, learning so many things about what transpired with wrestling. Like, you know, like you just said with that one, bro, I didn't know you spray Axe on yourself and you set yourself on fire. It's protected. It's protected for a certain amount of time. Yeah, alcohol, certain things. Like, you learn these things. That's why I tell people, if you want to get into this stuff, go to a wrestling school, stuff like that. These are the things that you learn proper wise and stuff like that. I remember, and I just was on a podcast recently where I talked about my first experience getting into wrestling and realizing how real it was when I took my first bump. And it wasn't a trampoline. It wasn't with springs or anything like that. This was literally plywood. And the only thing I got to say the bad thing about everything being exposed now is people are probably looking at you going, why would you do this for $40? Why would you do this for that type of pay? And you don't even have your covered medical and stuff like that. And, you know, those are some of the things I wish didn't get exposed at times. I'm very lucky what I get out of it now. But, you know, I went through my growing pains. I remember I came to a show and I only made $15. And it was probably one of my favorite shows I've ever done. And, you know, but it's not based off of the paying experience anymore. It's about, you know, that feeling. And I feel like that's the reason why so many people come back, so many people do their thing, and I can't say so many people anymore because I'm one of them. I said I was done. I've been on your show, and I've told you before, I was done. I was not coming back, and I got that bug, and now I'm back in it. I mean, it's just like a feeling you never had before. Like, I've done basketball, I've done football, I've done these things. I don't get such a grasping emotional feeling than what I do in a wrestling ring. Like, if my life is absolutely at its worst, I can get in that wrestling ring and it can all be washed away. It doesn't matter if I win the match or I lost, because in the end of the day, we both won. Because guess what? And I want to talk about the guy that I had on my show recently. Shout out to Eddie Torres. He talked about, if you go to put over somebody and you do your absolute best work to make that guy look amazing, you find out how of a skill of a worker you are. Because guess what? He can go and wrestle somebody else and not get the same reaction that he has. He's going to now come back to you and go, oh, man, I wrestled all these guys a year ago, and I didn't get no feeling like I had when I touched with you last time. And that just does a benefit fact, because guess what? Now that not only ups your pay, your base or whatever, that's also getting you more of a network now, because you have this big name going, hey, man, you gotta talk to this guy. This guy made me look like an absolute monster on this show and stuff like that. And that's something I wish people would take a little bit of a consideration with wrestling. Is wrestling is not necessarily about all the antics of, you know, backstage drama, like, oh, you know, I want to hit with a chair, I want to hit with a thumbtack, I want to do those things. You're not going to see me do those matches. I won't. I'll be personally honest with you on that. I'm not doing any of that. But for people to take that,
so we're not going to see you in any ECW matches. Damn it!
Absolutely not, bro. No.
But Warren, don't you feel like you being a wrestler, you definitely just said like a lot of truthful shit, and with Ric Flair coming out and like pretty much like opening eyes, You know, to
Talking
people who
about
watch it,
certain
you know what I'm
spots that
saying?
cut your head and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Bro. People don't
Talk
take that
about
knowledge and realize of what you have to do and what we do to oversell to make you have that feeling to escape whatever you're going through that day. Like Ric
Yeah.
Flair just said it. We used to get brass knucks. We used to get hit with these things, you know. Hey, I had a blade in my finger because I misbladed myself before. Like this stuff happens, and we just do it for y'all's entertainment. We don't
Let
do
me
it
ask you.
for like all that other stuff.
I wanted to ask you why you were saying it, because it is a big conception. Like, you know, you gave a lot of good reasons for why you like to do
I
it.
could lift your big ass and slam you with no hesitation. Stop with me.
Okay, all right. But I'm saying, like, literally, when the fact that you can get exposure off of this
Yep.
now, like, you know, and networking from doing, like, you know, just like with podcasting and stuff like that, or doing your show or whatever. Like, you literally, the more people you meet, the more people you wrestle. You might have got $15 for that one show, but if you put on an incredible performance, the exposure that you got is something that in the future it's why you may get, you know, $50 instead of 15 next time. But do you find it difficult, since you find yourself not doing some of the things that people really want to do? Like, you know, like seeing thumbtack matches and seeing it. Do you find it difficult knowing you're not going to do that? Do you find yourself having to find other ways to be like inventive or creative?
That's a good question.
I mean, I love that. That's a good question. I actually,
my shit right here.
I think that, I mean, here's a great example. Like, you know,
Oh
people
shit!
that don't like to
It's
smoke.
the trash
You
talk's
don't-
going, Warren.
All right, you see my
can't
video.
have
Enough said. I could squat 500 pounds. So next. All right. But you see, like, here's a great example. You know, like when you talk about people smoking, nobody like to smoke and stuff like that. But when vape coming around, it tastes. You see everybody doing it. You see everyone like that but so you're sitting there like, maybe I should try it. Maybe I should consider it and stuff like that. Now, there has been times where I look at it and go, hey, maybe I could do that match. Maybe if I change this persona, whatever, but not do it so much longer. But I don't see it that way. And I think that was my main downfall when I first started, was I was up to do anything. I never knew what the no was. I never knew how to say, okay, you know, I'm not comfortable with this, because I felt like I was so new in it. I just had to go with the flow and do everything with it. But now I've gotten to that point where I know where I've been, what bumps I can take, what I can do to make that emotion out of the crowd, what my matches can do to stand out. Is my match going to be that one that I can be, I can go the long distance, or I can do what we call the meat and potatoes and still it be a good match? Those are the things, like you look at those parts in the plays. So when you say, okay, I want to do this hardcore match, I look at it and go, okay, but how many hardcore matches we had on the show? So it's like, you don't know that level standpoint on. But I love that question, what you said, because I've had a talk with some of the trainees I've had recently, because they were sitting there talking about, you know, GCW is so popular. Do I have to do that to get on their show? And I said, if you feel like you do, that's up to you. But in my opinion, what can you do to get yourself to be entertained with that crowd that does that stuff, but not do those same things? That will make you more compelling than what those characters are doing.
If you're compelling, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because what they're doing is definitely compelling, but
Yeah.
you have to find a way to be compelling, since you're not going to dip into that pool. So that's why it's interesting. And that even with wrestling, people who don't know wrestling, when a guy like Ric Flair comes on, you know Ric Flair, whether it be from, you know, just entertainment, you know, whatever, you know Ric Flair. So when somebody like Ric Flair comes on and says, yo, this shit isn't fake. Y'all think this shit is fake? I'm fucking 93 years old. I've been put through this. I'm Blade. I'm cutting myself. And people are like, you cutting yourself? Holy shit. Now it's reality. Now people are starting to change perspectives. So now it's like, holy shit, like I didn't realize this was this much. Let me check it out. You just opened up a whole new door to people who are at least intrigued by this shit now. So that's why I'm asking you. You're the only wrestler on here that's actually doing it as a profession. Like, you know, you're in a whole new field, man, whether it be death matches, whether it be fucking, like, you know, just being a character like we're talking about.
It's so different now. That's something I've learned in that.
It's got to be hard to, like, you know, to adapt to like these different levels and calibers to stand out. Like, do you want to see yourself in WWE someday? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you want to?
I would love it. I would love it, man. But I see myself, and this is something that I've always
became a Warren interview. I'm sorry.
No. I love this concept. I love this concept because this is perfect topic to talk about this. You know, my thing is about when I first started, of course, if you did not want to get in WWE, if you did not want to get in a major promotion to get that paychecks or whatever, you're doing the wrong thing, because this sport is not going to cover your finances when you first start. I don't care who you are. You could be a third generation superstar. Guess what? You're going to go through the ringer just like us for even if it's 2 months. You're going to go through exactly what we're going to go through. Now, I'm got the realization, yes, I'm only 32 years old. And these are technically the wrestling years that everybody likes to say, but I just know for a fact my character is just not going to be promoted in WWE and stuff like that. You know, the mask character, it can only work so much. So, you know, would I love it? Yes, but
don't quit.
I find more appreciated. I find myself more happy, and it's kind of like in a father figure standpoint of the people that I've helped get up to those next levels. Like some of the guys that I've worked that are up to that next level. I'm more intrigued with that than me worried about myself. If that makes sense.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, Warren, the question that I want to ask is, you know, and I've heard it from casual fans, the big misconception of, is it easy to create a character or evolve it on your own, or do you know, things of that nature? Because you hear it all the time. Oh, I could do that. I can create this, no problem. Would you say that
depends on the person too, though? Because you know, if you got a really creative person, like I'm not trying to, you know, toot my own horn, but I'll be honest with you, I can make a fucking character in 5 minutes. I just find it easy. Now, to get in the ring and wrestle, that would take a lot of work. So on that, if I was a team with Warren and I was like, okay, I'm going to go and say, Warren, check this out. I got this idea for you. And Warren's like, yo, listen, keep feeding me shit. He don't even got to do it. All he's got to worry about is his part. Isn't that the whole reason why you would have like a management team and a creative team, and then that's how you build your brand?
Yep.
So that's basically, like, he's a business. Like, you know, if you choose to do it on your own, you're saving money. But do you, like he said, do you find it hard to, like, you know, come up with creative and stuff like that?
I did at first. I felt like I had to, you know, just go with the flow, but I got tired of taking those crazy bumps. I got tired of doing all those things. So obviously I did have to adapt to things. Like I was soaking wet, maybe 155 for a little bit. And then I was just like, I got to gain weight. I got to push myself to do these things. And I wanted myself to be considered more than just a cruiserweight. Finally got myself up. That was one reason why I'm happy where I'm at now, because I'm not considered that cruiserweight, but I'm like in that middleweight type scenario. So I can go in both categories now. And just the matches that I have, I'm not considered, I got to literally struggle to throw this big man over. They respectfully go, hey, man, it's a believable thing. You're not just this small guy. This works now. I would say to make the character, it's not that hard. To make the character that the crowd can go behind is what's hard. I think that is where a lot of people fail at, because anybody can go on WWE on this game and make a awesome character, make an awesome character. But if you don't believe in that character, and that's something that I tell people all the time, you don't have to be you in this character, but you got to believe it. If you believe that character, I know at least one or two of these kids or somebody's going to look at it and go, I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to look at this and consider it. Like my character standpoint is, when I wrestle, you watch my matches, I take a beating because I'm benefiting off of the bad guy off that show. Because guess what? Sometimes I can be established, but you got to get that bad guy established at the same time, because it's a back and forth thing. So if I'm doing the stuff to make my heel, the bad guy established, it's so much easier for the fans to go. So where you get that big comeback that me and Brian have talked about so many times on this show is where that impact just gets to more of it's like a meter, and that meter will rise because now it's that time to like, all right, the fans are ready. Let's get my spot in. Boom. That one spot is the most memorable spot of the match, because that's where that crowd went from, boo, blah, type scenario. Like it's just that flow of the crowd. Like it's easy to make the character, but you got to make the audience believe that character. That's the hardest thing. And I feel like with wrestling now, people are not really focusing on the characters. And I feel like that's what's been the really big downfall for a lot of independent guys and a lot of other showman guys.
I don't agree with that, man. I think that the character is always a focus. I think that wrestlers are just not focusing on their characters enough.
Yes.
And that's why, because I think the audience is willing to watch anything you put in front of them. They're going to judge it regardless. But the people who are doing, even Kurt Angle said on his, awards acceptance when he got in Hall of Fame, yo, don't be scared to take risks. But at the same time, and I'm just being honest, everybody doesn't have that ability to be creative in that way. And I'm not, everybody doesn't have charisma. Everybody doesn't have this stuff. There can't be 1,000 Shawn Michaels. Can't be 1,000 Bret Harts. You have different elements that make you and shit.
What I'm saying is the misconception from that casual fan sitting at home is simply saying, "Oh, I can do that," or "This really doesn't."
Yeah. Take 2 bumps, and that's something I tell people on TikTok all the time, guys. Brian, I think you could probably take 1 or 2 bumps. I think you would literally.
I would fight.
I could tell you would want to if you were like a little bit. I
would wrestle. That's what's crazy. I would go and step in the UFC ring. I would go and step up with an MMA. I was training for it for a minute, but I would do that before I'd get in a wrestling ring. Believe it or not.
And that's what a lot of MMA guys would say too, because they would like, "Oh, that's easy." And then they take that first bump. They're like, "Absolutely not. This is ridiculous. You are insane to be doing this."
Wrestling's fucking hard.
I know Dre would definitely have done it if he could. I know he would for a fact.
Dre will do that shit now.
Hey, shit. I remember a couple of times, man, trying to wrestle my little brother or cousin when I was little, man. Then cane and choke slamming people and stuff.
I used to wrestle people on the trampoline. We'd have like a big old events and stuff. Like the whole neighborhood would come out and watch us wrestle on these trampolines. Like we had the paper titles and stuff like that. So it's so cool. It's so cool. And like I even had a couple of them message me like, "Hey man, it's so crazy you actually became that, because we used to do that for $5 in the neighborhood, and I'd make over $30 a week doing that, just freaking having a wrestling show on a trampoline." Like it's so cool where you get that demographic. So I love the way that Ric Flair acknowledged this, because it is very misconcepted, because we look at it as, yeah, it's a soap opera, yeah, it's fake and stuff like that, but in reality. And I think Blackheart stuck it a little bit. Sometimes you would think the NFL is kind of predetermined. You would see like some of these things, and it's like that looks pretty.
All sports, there's some hidden shit. I don't care what nobody says. Everybody's not wrong. There's some undercard shit. Anything that involves money, man. Anything that involves money.
Get in the ring with me. Get in the ring with me. I love you. I love you. Get in the ring with me.
I don't think Blackheart would have let half that conversation go down if he was on this show right now. He would have cut that shit. Fuck all this Warren shit.
No, he does this all the time. Like literally, that's how me and him like started talking.
With a T-shirt that says,
"Okay."
Yeah, damn.
All right, man. That was fun.
That was good.
But yeah, that was a good one, Dre. You got
Yes.
anything you want to follow on that one, bro?
Hey man, nah, man. I said it all. I definitely said it all, man. Definitely a bunch of misconceptions is people just thinking, "Oh, I can do that."
We got him to agree now. We got him to agree.
Yeah. All sports are scripted.
I don't know about all sports, but I would say there's some.
He's saying that now because the Celtics ain't winning, but I think they might win this year. I think they might.
You know what was interesting to me though? One thing that even me as a watching wrestling for as long as I have, I did think that they did have some I did think that they had like the tables and the chairs that they're using. I did think that those are modified. I think he's capping a little bit on that. I ain't gonna lie.
I
They make no real metal chairs.
Bounced off of it. We bounced off this table because literally we thought they brought this wood one, and I guess the promoter didn't go and get the wooded table that we had at the time. So we had this plastic table, but it looked like the wooden table that we were supposed to go through. So we went and took this thing, and we bounced off of it. I was just like, "Yep, this is real. This is real now."
Yeah, I think Ric Flair was definitely, obviously he's a legend in the business. I think he was keeping a little bit, to himself.
A little bit, right? Yeah.
Some basketball players and football players, they know the business, but obviously they ain't going to, spill it all out there.
If you look at some of the sports games, I mean, I don't want to fully say it, but me going to Vegas, I saw a whole different outlook with sports and things. But I mean, I agree with Dre totally. You know, I have friends that play football and stuff, and yes, they go through a lot too. But you know, with wrestling, you're basically starting out like at a janitor level, and it's up to you to get that stride to keep rolling
I
with it.
agree. I agree with Blackheart and I agree with
Yeah.
Brian Beal just a little bit. You know, I don't think all of them are, but I think just about all of them are. You know, they all a business, entertainment. I seen
Anything
some
but college,
interviews.
I think.
Yeah, I seen some interviews, man. You know, where it's just where you get down where I think with basketball players, they're like, "Dog, this not what you think it is, man. Like this the finals here. You know, we gotta beat you guys." And it was like, "Oh, for real? Like, yeah, this is money. You know, if they gonna lose, they gonna still make money regardless, though." But I think it's
You
all
think in 5
entertainment.
years we're gonna get a behind the scenes about the NBA talking about maybe scripts?
Probably.
No,
At
I
least
don't think
partial.
so.
I would
I don't think
that
so
came out.
because it's big business. I mean, wrestling is already out there that is what it is though. But I think the people who control that or whatever will try to keep it as much of a secret as they can.
Mhm.
But
Look at the Olympics, bro. Look at the
certain
Olympics.
individuals, know what it is.
Just saying.
You know.
First, I will say
always
shout out
some
to
shit,
flag
bro.
football and as a whole now being in the LA Olympics in 2028. So major shout out to them. That is the first time a sport has been organically put into the Olympics that is going to be drawn by the NFL. They're going to publicly
More
draw it.
motherfuckers not getting paid for our entertainment, like literally. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's exposure, but I'm just saying, I don't know, bro. I'm one of those type of people where if we talking conspiracies and shit like that, like I'm never
This
like
is your
all the way
topic.
left or all the way right. I'm telling you right now, I'm never one of them people. I can see how shit can be fucked up because you always learn so much new shit. I'll never be shocked. Like if they came out and said, "Oh yeah, all
wrestling's more believable than most things in life." At times, I sometimes say that. But all right, man.
Keyword presentation of the National Football League. Keyword presentation.
All right, man. Next topic. Oh, Eric would love this one. He's our buddy right here for this one. Next topic is: does AEW Rampage need a revival?
Cancel that
Both
shit.
of them.
Eric,
James.
I wish I could I wish I could go back. Hold on. I wish we could go back here and get those recordings when you talked everything about Rampage when you first started out. And now to where we could get you to talk about it now. I wish we could do the before and after because your whole emotion aspect would have been so different.
Yep, Ira.
He's a little flabbergasted on it.
Let me testify now. Right? Let me come to the front of everybody. Rampage. Good idea in the beginning. Not gonna lie.
Oh, cool dog. No, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Blackheart, I'm gonna get to that. Here's part of the issue that I think.
Is that why we feel about
it's
Rampage?
still
We're talking about the dog.
All right. Taped versus live. That's a big issue.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And for this, maybe a little bit, it was live.
That.
Now, really have to go through a whole cut it out.
He told me to mute your mic.
I'm going to say it what it is. Collision, dump Rampage. You're not cutting it anymore.
Oh,
Can't save that.
hold on. And for that, I'm going to do that for you, buddy. Come to the aisle right here.
Cancel all that shit. That's what I say.
Rampage.
Watch it.
Because the ratings for Rampage were, at the beginning. We kind of know why. Fuck you, Phil. I'll say that till Judgment Day. And then this is what happened.
Oh, I wish I could get the old recordings.
Bro, be honest, yo. The reason why Rampage is not doing good is because SmackDown is before it. Nobody's watching fucking 5 hours of wrestling.
Not even that. Tony really
Friday, and it's Friday night. And it's
The
Friday night.
number.
And the
No,
results are
Brad
always
Brad-
done ahead of time.
No,
Ryan
Brian B make a good point though, and just like Eric just said, I think the number one reason is because it is taped immediately after Dynamite, so people there have saw it
He
and it
used to
have
do
got it
better
already,
numbers than this.
and it's already over social media and everything. So, and just like Brian B said, and I said it too before, I
Agreed.
watched 2 hours of SmackDown,
Agreed.
and
Late
my
Friday night.
appetite is totally full. And
Yeah.
then you talking about watching Rampage right after that, though. Like,
And it's the C show. It's the C show. It's the F show, honestly, because you got it's not even like one of the
It's
top
not even an
shows.
alphabet letter. It may be a Z,
and
man.
I thought when Collision was coming aboard, I thought Rampage when Collision was coming on board, I thought Rampage was already supposed to get a little revival and it's supposed to be like a Sunday Night Heat-ish, but it just seemed like it just never happened.
Saturday
Looking
wrestling.
back at what
Not
I said in the
1993.
beginning, thinking about it, now that I have a better idea at this point in time, Collision has done a better job. You're on Saturday night, which is fine. I think what you need to do, if you were to reboot, full overhaul. Bischoff almost, and I'm only referencing this, just hear me out. Don't make fun. Don't laugh. Just hear me out. I think you take Rampage and cut it 6 months. See what happens when you just have the 2 shows again. And then evaluate, do I bother bringing back Rampage? Because at that point, you're going to know. You're going to have that point.
I think Collision should just not be on Saturdays. I'm sorry. They need to move Collision from off of Saturdays because then it also it also
WCW.
it also
Better off doing that.
WCW.
They'd be better off doing that. I'll be honest with you. If they just admit it,
I'm going to answer that question.
just make it
What I
WCW
meant
and say
by
fuck
that
it.
is this. Towards the end of the Monday Night War, Bischoff was trying to buy WCW. Y'all remember that? He once said, and he recently said this again as it pertained to some of the things AEW related. He was going to, if he would have gotten WCW, he was going to take it off the air. After that show in Panama City, you would not have seen WCW for probably a year. He was going to do a whole revamp. Would I
be nice?
I mean,
That'd
if
be
they do a
nice.
set schedule, yeah.
Until the pay-per-view comes on. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the pay-per-views are on Saturdays. The only thing they will have a problem with on the Sundays is, WrestleMania, I'm assuming, or something else that comes on.
And
You know,
football.
Yeah, they'll have like football games.
But football games ends at 7:50. Well, on the East Coast here.
Blackheart, hang on. Let me answer Blackheart's question. The rest of Blackheart's question. What I'm saying is, if you were to try to revive Rampage, use the idea, take the whole show, cut it off the air. See what the numbers for Collision are if you hypothetically moved it, as he said, to go head-to-head with SmackDown. See what happens.
You got to have product to do that, though.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, bro. This whole conversation is missing the whole point. The shit ain't interesting enough to go up against anything else.
It's not making you want to go back and watch it on YouTube. It's not making you want to go back and watch it on DVR.
Something to bring out that product, bro. Listen, WCW, and you got to face facts. Like, that's the fucking what we're looking at right now. WWF, WCW. If you want to have any kind of competition,
MLW is drawing way more ratings than most of that stuff right now.
You have to have people. When Hulk Hogan went to fucking WCW and he was getting booed and people didn't give a shit about yellow and red no more, and then he flipped and Hall and Nash came and they turned NWO. That is what
made it. Yep.
Wrestling, or it fucking beat WWF. WWF couldn't even shit with WCW, bro. That's the only thing that had something to do, because you took that heavy investment and you created something incredible. AEW is not going to be any kind of a talking point until they do that. It's just pure facts. You can bring Edge, you can bring
the future guys, benefit the show.
Bro, you
That's what
have
you need
to
to
have
do.
something to watch, man. It's not
But
good
do
enough
you
to watch
really
yet.
take Rampage to YouTube at this point? Do you think there's even a
That-
remote way
Why
to
would
save it?
who's gonna if you're not watching it on regular TV?
Here's
Who's gonna
my
fucking
thing.
take time to go watch it on YouTube?
Here's my
Like
thing.
you're gonna forget
Exactly.
about it at that point.
If
Like,
they
you might as well
have
not
the
even have it.
network, if they have
Saves
the
money.
network, keep Rampage. Put it on the network. Do whatever you want to do with that. But if it's
They got
not
a network.
growing on TV, bro, TNT's not going to keep paying for that.
He should sell, they should
TBS is
sell
not
that
gonna
shit
keep
to
paying for that.
WWE and just call it a day because
They're going to look at it and go, hey,
Oh,
give me
man.
that Looney Tune. Give me Space Jam. I'll take that. That drew a little bit better than this crap. Like, this is ridiculous.
Hang on. I'll say this. Looking back at what I said when I first made the comments about it,
It does save
and
money.
here, where we are now. To me, Rampage
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
is now what we call the
Yep.
what's the name?
You're
of
not
it?
even having people bootleg to watch Rampage right now. So, honestly, I
Oh,
say
it's so
pull it.
bad.
Just pull
I
it.
mean, and we
I would pull that
that's the
shit.
thing. That's what Bischoff was saying that I'm trying to mention. Pull it off the air completely. Don't redo it, nothing. Because at this point, I'll say it for what it is. I can get the results practically the next day. If I'm at the
Yeah, but that's-
arena, I already fucking know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to bother with that.
Let's make it a dark show.
Time, half the time, I'll put it to you like this. It's a Friday night. I can go out and go get laid instead of watching that.
That's what I said fucking 10 minutes ago, literally.
I'm reiterating it because I'm sitting
Yeah, I
on
mean,
your
it's literally like the whole point.
I
Like,
would rather go do that shit and sit there. And if God forbid I have, you're working or something, you can record SmackDown and watch it. That's more entertaining.
fuck
I'd rather do
AEW
that.
and Rampage and Collision. They should all just blow each other up. Collide on that shit, okay? And use dynamite and all that shit. Fucking WCW light. And ain't nobody watching that shit, okay? It's for all the fucking niggas who ain't making it in WWE who was crying, oh, they're using me. Well, they're using you now. And motherfuckers jumped over there and they found out, well, it's not
love
that
it.
good. Edge is
love
over there. No, listen, Edge is over there. You're going to rant now. Fuck this shit.
I love
Edge
it.
is over there fucking talking to empty seats. Edge is standing in that ring. Edge is in that ring like this, y'all. What the fuck did I do? There ain't nobody in this shit.
Yo, I love
Like
it.
Triple H, I want to come back. Fuck this shit. There is nobody here, Triple H.
Here's the question I got for this. What the hell is going on? God damn it.
Yeah, so all that shit. AEW ain't ready. Them motherfuckers tried hard. And even the motherfucker who started it left. Cody Rhodes is like, man, fuck this shit. Ain't nothing over here.
You got Blackheart dying.
Fuck out of here, man.
Oh man.
AEW sucks. Okay, I said it. Daniel Bryan
Yo.
leaving. Fucking what? Get the
Hang
fuck
on.
out of here.
Hang on.
Dog,
Shit is
that's
ass.
what makes this. This what
Listen
makes
to this
this so
conversation.
awesome, bro. This what makes this
Fuck
so
outta here.
awesome because we as
You do know this is
WWE
about to
guys,
be real, Brian. This is about to be a
Yeah.
real.
you got the WWE guys who love WWE, and then you got some guys who love AEW, but then you got Brian B who tell it like it is, bro.
Bro.
Like,
Now put it to you like
It should
this.
be on
Hang on.
Tuesday. It should be on Monday. It should be on Wednesday.
No, the funny thing is, I've been saying
It's on
this
every
for a
day.
long
Fuck it.
time.
Wait,
Like,
oh man,
what I'm saying
something
is,
I've been
at this
saying.
point,
Great example. Hold on. Great example.
cut the
Josh
whole thing.
Prey, comedian. He knows about Jay Cardell based off of her signing with WWE. And he just made a full-on video go, this woman is a Greek goddess. I don't care who this woman is. WWE just signed her. Nobody knew of this person.
No.
It's flat out.
Jade Cargill does not need AEW didn't make Jade Cargill.
AEW
famous.
needed her.
Jade Cargill
That's
could
what they
walk
need.
in off the street and motherfuckers look at her and say, I want her. I want her. Look at her. Look at her body. Look at her fucking beauty. I want her. Jade Cargill she wasted her time in AEW. If anything, if Jade Cargill walked in and she was in the NXT, she was in the center or whatever, but I don't know why they didn't utilize her or why she didn't get utilized or want to get utilized. But she's her own brand, bro. She doesn't need it. AEW didn't give, she didn't leave
Oh, I know
the
Eric.
door finally opened and she was like, yo, listen, this is this is my time now. Like I'm ready. Whether she went there to train or whatever, like she knew what a business was, bro. AEW ain't the fucking business, man. Like I'm just saying, I'm not even hating. I'm just being dead ass honest, man. Like AEW ain't the best. Why we having these conversations? What show should it be on? What show? Like y'all got 3 shows and no motherfuckers, you can't even fill seats for one. Like, bro.
I don't know what the hell's
Give
going
it
on
up.
with that recently.
They suck. What's going on with it?
No, Eric. No, Brian. I gotta say this, Eric. I love you, but you know damn well 3 or 4 months ago, you would have sat there and fought that tooth and nail when we said that they couldn't draw a damn.
No,
seat.
because here's the problem.
Booty,
I
bro.
started noticing it with the shit with Punk.
I told you for the longest time when Tony Khan started playing on Twitter, that was going to be the demise of this company because Tony Khan got personal and got upset about, NXT brought this. Why did you think that you thought this was going to go well? Why did you think? The only
You
reason
think I
why
don't know that?
in believability,
I
the
don't know.
only reason why anybody watched AEW that day was to watch Edge's match.
Edge is the only reason motherfuckers watch AEW. That's the only reason I'm even saying AEW right now. But now that he's
I'm
there,
watching MJF. I'm only
CM
watching MJF.
CM Punk was the
MJF
only
is
reason I was
coming up
interested
right
in AEW when he came back. The only reason I was interested. Daniel Bryan going over there for a second was like the only reason I was like, let me peek over here and see. JR being an announcer.
That's it.
That's
Good
it.
matches.
I can't.
See,
Everything
the
else,
thing
I don't give a
is-
fuck about, man. And then
Bryan
they're
is
great
not even
talent.
being a
They're great
character.
talent.
Tony's
But
now
just being a wrestler.
It is what
Now
it is.
Tony, to me, has crossed, and I'm not gonna sit here and say I wasn't defending it.
I will say this though. Jade did get a benefit from going to AEW because that's why WWE signed her. Because she did go to WWE before and they released her. They did
Yeah.
not sign her when she first tried
Maybe
out.
she wasn't
They
ready.
never
Maybe
gave
she
her a
wasn't
shot.
ready.
But see, this is the other side of the equation too. Where did all of a sudden this low ticket sale shit happen? What? Take
Bro,
Tony
when
Khan
you
piece,
suck,
we
man.
already got-
Believability when you do the
Bro,
same matches every single show.
I want to say
doesn't work.
one thing real fast on the whole empty seat thing because I've been seeing it on social media though. And
Let's go. Come on, Dre.
let's be honest with you though. I think CM Punk was a big factor into why all these
That was
empty
the main
seats
reason.
go.
That was the main
That-
reason.
that was one of the big reasons. And then too, like I think for Collision,
Bro.
not a Saturday night though. Not on a Saturday night. Maybe some other night because we already got Friday night on SmackDown. You know, people work Monday through Friday. They get off on Friday. They want to go out. They want to enjoy themselves. But if SmackDown on, they probably going to be like,
You gonna
oh, you
watch
know what?
SmackDown?
I'm going to watch SmackDown.
Yeah.
Saturday, I'm free. I'm not about to go in on Saturday night just to watch Collision. Ain't even pulling over 500K. So it's like, no, I'm good. I'm going to enjoy my Saturday night out unless it's like a cool premium live event or something like that. Just to be
Exactly.
real honest with you, though.
Somebody
Edge,
send me the
they're making
bootleg.
AEW can get all the former WWE superstars. They still probably won't fill that
See,
arena.
that was the main
And-
downfall
and
too.
Right.
the thing with AEW though, and I love it. It's cool. It's all great. But I think with them is they not trying to really acknowledge themselves
Blackheart.
as sports entertainment. They just acknowledging them as pro wrestling. So all the
And there's
matches
no
you
such
see
thing as
are
pro
just-
wrestling without sports entertainment. I've been saying this since
yeah,
I have
yeah.
started a
Ex-
podcast. I've said
Why
this
do you
when I
think
started
Jared did
wrestling.
what he did?
But that's
Dre,
the thing.
how many
I
times
think
have I said
that's-
that?
You said
How many
it a number
times
of
have I said
times,
that?
but
Every time.
that's what I'm saying. I think that is also their little
You want me to get a
that
list?
little downfall. They now lately I give them credit. You know they've been doing things
They
with the
drew
Roddy
overseas.
Strong and Adam Cole, Tony Storm, a bunch of little different creative stuff with Powerhouse Hobbs, Crush Jericho. Even though we don't know what that was about though, but there's a couple of stuff. Christian Cage is like the talked about guy over there on AEW.
He's incredible over
But
there,
I
bro.
don't think they're just putting all the puzzles together to pull and develop a great story.
People they want
just
to
were-
draw
they-
are not the ones that are major draws. That's what the
Yeah,
real
I just
believability
I
is.
think they just focus on putting on great or good wrestling matches.
Yeah, they're having a problem
more
building
so-
certain talent.
I also
Yeah,
think
and
that
this
is
another
This is one thing why Ring of Honor only did so many numbers too, because just wrestling is not the thing. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we got the audience that wants to see the moves and stuff like that, but you got to have a character to have a feel. Now, if you had Mark Calloway go in there and WCW say, hey, you will never draw a dime Okay, guess what? Is this The Undertaker? At first, that sounds like the worst gimmick ever. That sounds like this is going to be a one and done. I'm getting fired literally by the next 3 months.
Yeah, they didn't believe in it at all from the beginning.
But when you sat there and revamp it and you do these things that make a crowd involved to you, look at Stone Cold Steve Austin, guys, Stunning Steve Austin, all these guys, as good as they were in the ring, they were not behind them. The Rock, when he started speaking in third person, say, hey, man, screw this audience. You said Rocky died. Don't cheer me now type scenario. Fans got behind that because guess what? It was a character that you could go, all right, I want to be entertained to this. In my opinion, I love Bryan Danielson. He's a great in-ring performer, but he was way more benefited in WWE than he is now. Because he's not a character anymore. His mic work has lacked really bad like now.
Boring.
He's not making it go, hey, I want to go watch this because of what he just said on this promo. The only one that worked, I was hoping to see CM Punk. That was the only one I was hoping.
One thing about AEW, and I think they need to like focus on or like fix it a little bit. It's like they're more focused on like basically, I don't know how exactly to say it, but it's like with certain promos. No, not that, but certain promos they focus on more like cursing you out, but then telling the story. You know, rather than saying.
WWE references in every promo. If it doesn't,
or rather saying shit or ass or gets like 10 times, like, come on, like, you know, so that's cool.
Let me say one thing real quick. I want to say one thing on this topic.
Elements of what WCW and ECW did to get a pop.
Yeah, exactly. But listen,
you said personally, Eric, you said personally that they weren't going to do that.
Listen, with what like
Warren.
Kind of piggybacking off of what Warren said, like you literally, the thing about AEW, I'm sorry to say this, y'all. I'm really sorry to say this, is one of the biggest things that AEW did was they took established people from WWE, the reason why you love these guys, and they thought it was going to work in a program where people don't know what this shit is. Like the indie scene enjoyed AEW at the beginning because of what it represented. It represented literally the people who were being called the best in the world. You had Kenny Omega, you had the Young Bucks, you had Cody Rhodes, you had Chris Jericho. Like, you know, he was doing all his New Japan stuff. Like, it was a lot that was going on. But at this point, it's not enough. It's not enough substance with AEW to build anything in this time period of wrestling that we have right now. Yeah, I feel like AEW is an alternative opportunity for people who aren't doing well in WWE, and that's what Impact was. But Impact is kind of like lower now. It's like third grade, and then AEW was like, you know, C grade, but WWE is like fucking A++ grade, bro. And they don't have what it takes, and they don't have the needs. Whether they get even if The Rock went over there, bro. They could have The Rock over there, and people would be like, "Oh, that's The Rock. Why the fuck is he on this show?" It wouldn't establish and make AEW great because The Rock's there. They have to establish what they are, and they've been trying to rely on their talent to establish what they are, and they're going up against something that has been established and will be established to the end of time. WWE is wrestling. That's the thing. WWE is wrestling to most motherfuckers in the world. What's wrestling? Oh, you mean WWE? To most motherfuckers in the world, WWE is wrestling. AEW, nobody's saying that.
No, I don't disagree with you. I think the thing that's happened is how do I want to put this?
Brian, you're literally saying everything I've said from day one with
that's
AEW.
Coming new. This is all that the stuff that we see now, the NWA, all that. WWE's been around for so fucking long, and I'm piggybacking off you, and I'm also concurring with you on this. What's happening now is WWE regaining its momentum that was quote unquote temporary loss because what happened when you had taken NXT, brought it on the TV to try and go head to head with AEW and recreate the same thing. Problem is, Tony hasn't adapted it. And if we would quit doing that, we might have a shot.
My thing is, and this is something I've been saying about AEW for a long time. Anybody can get a Nobel Prize. You got to continue to make the series. It was fun. It was cool. Yeah, okay. Dave Meltzer says 5-star matches every single time, but I'm not going to believe Dave Meltzer because he hasn't ranked one of Kurt Angle's matches, which is blasphemy to me. If you really want to talk about a great in-ring performer. Now, like I said, man, anybody can wrestle matches. It's about believability and attraction standpoint. AEW was supposed to have been this group that, hey, we bring indie guys to benefit into a big promotional standpoint. Yes, they did it at first, and that's why they went successful as they did, because it was like, oh, guys like me at the time, like, oh, we can sign a contract. We get health insurance. We get this stuff. We get this. Oh, absolutely. Even if it shits the bed next month. Hey, we're getting a contract. We're going to get a piece of this pie before this ends. This is literally everything that any indie wrestler experiences still to this day. Yes, they believe and they tell you, hey, we're going to sign you. You be this draw. And then you go and see an old timer take your spot because guess what? He did such and such 7 years ago. Something like that. That is called establishment. And that's what AEW has failed at right now. They don't have established superstars that you can look at and go, oh, that is such and such from this company. That is such and such from this. When you look at the basic minimum of a WWE superstar, they look at it and go, that's that WWE moniker name. They're not looking at him and go, oh, that's Adam Copeland. Oh, that's Beth Phoenix. That's them. They're looking at it and going, Bryan Danielson. Everybody still goes, that's Daniel Bryan.
And Bryan.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to be using that.
That's Cesaro, you know?
Cesaro,
like
exactly. Yeah, you're absolutely right, bro. That's literally
it's about establishment, and that's something that TNA messed up on. That's when Hogan and them's like, oh, we're gonna go and head up with WWE. TNA was doing great stuff until that started, until they were like, oh, we're gonna compete with them. They got dropped in the water quick.
Not ready, bro. You can't compete with WWE, bro.
Then
you
help
could,
Dixie Carter. That
you could, but there's nobody right now who would be able to do it, yo. Well, I know it's getting late. I got a whole fucking show to do. Yo, listen, I want to say this right now while I'm doing this. At 9 o'clock, I'm hosting the show. I don't have like topics really. I'm literally just going to be talking about wrestling. I got a couple people on. If anybody's not doing anything later on, y'all can jump on too, man.
I'll probably hop in too.
I want to talk some shit. I got some new people that's coming in too, but I want to talk some shit tonight for sure. But it is a good topic, man. It is a good topic to acknowledge, like, you know, us as fans, you know what I'm saying? Like why can't this healthy competition that WWE has, why are they not doing well, man? Is WWE just blowing their ass out the water, or just people just don't care? People definitely like wrestling. You know what I'm saying? People are definitely watching. Motherfuckers watching it 4 or 5 times a week at this point. Why are they not doing this well?
It's a mix of things.
Yeah,
but I tell people it's like a candy bar, man. You can only want a Snickers so much. You're gonna want a Snicker with almonds. You're gonna want a Snickers with caramel. There's gonna be a new flavor there, but it's not gonna be a consecutive thing. Like, oh, I'm just gonna constantly eat that, because you're gonna get sick of it. That's something that I feel like we get in those problems. Like, oh, we want to compete. We got an established promotion. We've been getting social media buzz. We've been doing this, and I kept telling him. I kept telling everybody on this AEW Nation standpoint, I said, it's good now. What's going to happen in 5 years? And right now, I mean, I hope it succeeds. I hope it stands together, because competition is good.
I mean, pull the reins in. They got to stop doing 5 shows, focus on one show. Just because
now they're talking about doing 12 pay-per-views a year now. You're not making established money enough to do this.
Who's gonna
How many times you're gonna draw in Chicago? Like Chicago.
Last thing I'm gonna say. I want to say one last thing, because I'm about to.
I gotta dip out too.
Yeah. I want to say one last thing before I roll. Another thing that's killing AEW as well is you know, when they had 4 pay-per-views a month, 4 pay-per-views a year, they had Revolution, Full Gear, Double or Nothing, All Out. When they started throwing everything else into the mix, that was another thing that, you know, tore them down. That's what makes, you know, AEW different from WWE as well. You know, WWE got a pay-per-view every month. You know, that's cool, but AEW got their own 4, and now they got Wrestle Dream, and they got another show. If they could just stick to the 4 events, or just make the
Stick
other
to your
shows that
what
they
works.
want to TV
Hang on,
specials,
hang on.
you know? But yeah,
To
that's
play off your thing, Dre, he makes a valid point. Dre made a valid point. If you've got 12 pay-per-views, if Tony's going to go down that path and the network's putting pressure on him, that's going to make this worse.
Mm-hmm. And he hasn't even got a guaranteed
no,
network standpoint yet. So it's like
but
already.
here's the other thing. There's discussion. Warner Discovery is getting sold again.
Mhm.
If that happens,
You're gonna be like,
I
what
smell
Vince McMahon got to do with TKO?
no,
You
I
gotta get
smell
there, but you bye-bye.
2001 again.
Yep, told you. Rising
And the
demise.
only thing I will say, to summarize what Dre said, was this. He bought Ring of Honor. He had the same pay-per-view formula for those, didn't schedule them in conjunction with AEW. He spaced it out. Right idea, two separate brands. Now you're throwing in all this shit. Guess what? Look what you did. You shit the bed.
All right, y'all.
I can't
All right,
sit there
man.
and
We
say-
got to do a victory lap.
Yeah.
Eric,
Yeah, I'm about
let's
to
go
be
ahead
out,
and
Let's
finish
guys.
this up,
go.
bro. All right. Anybody want last words? Brian, go ahead, bro.
Listen, I really appreciate coming on. It's always fun, man. The conversation will be awesome in the show. Hope everybody really enjoyed it as well. I like talking about all this stuff. One thing, you're all fans, man, and we do want to see everybody, do good, I feel. But hey, listen, Straight Through the Ropes Wrestle Talk is tonight. To come join the club too. Commission Talk's always welcome to join. Beeline Entertainment, ENT. We got 50 well, not 50, but top horror shows we just ranked, and I had some crazy shit happen on my show, so definitely go check that out. And listen, we love you guys, man. Thank you so much for having me on, and peace.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Later.
All right, Eric. Go ahead, bro.
Well, you're going to want to see the Asylum Saturday because lately I haven't been keeping in order certain people who have fallen victim to the chair. If you watch the season premiere, Meltzer got it. Last week, I'm sorry, Uncle Fats. I love you. I'm sorry. Naya had to get it. But this week, I couldn't hold it anymore. Vince Russo, it's your ass. You're gonna have to tune in to find out. But overall,
Bro.
like you said, but Warren, I'm gonna leave this in closing.
Go ahead.
As our illustrious guest said, and we've all agreed the competition is good. But I'm now looking at it with a fresh lens, and I'm saying, Tony Khan, lay off the blow and get your head back. And why the fuck am I seeing The Rock and Roman Reigns on my screen?
Hey, man. Anything could happen. You just saw that. That was the worst gimmick at the time, and it gave him to be the number one. It
As
turned
I
into
was waiting
this.
till the end of time, who booked this shit? So, folks, y'all know what to do. We're all over. Oh, good Lord. Yep. I could see that happening. Oh God.
Goat status.
I could see that. But overall, you know how to find us on the socials. You know where we're at. I mean, it was good to be here this week. Shout out to the boss for popping in, Christy, everybody that joined the chat. Show everybody some love. Buy some merch. Hook our sponsors up with some support. I mean, hell, folks. Why not?
Yeah. Hey, man. Always a pleasure, man. Eric, thank you for joining us. Like I said, the chair is always welcome. You let me know. We'll get it set up. Guys, as you know, go check out the Wrestling Asylum. Vince Russo is getting the electric chair. I would definitely agree with that one. Vince Russo, bro, is enough.
One last thing, bro. Listener discretion is ignored.
Uh-oh.
There will be 4-letter words aplenty. Some might even get combined. I have waited a long time to find.
Hey, Sounded like good stuff. You were
Fire.
screaming at the TV about a London game. I don't know. Oh, buddy.
I am looking forward to talking and shredding the mutant child of Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer.
There you go. All right, man. Y'all check out the Wrestling Time on Saturday. And obviously you can check out the girls, the Charlie's, the Blackhearts Angels. You can check them out as well. Obviously, you can check out Blackheart and his group on Friday night at 11:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, guys, I know a lot of people ask. My guest this week is going to be Chris Keys and the band Engineered Society Project, man. That was going to be an awesome episode. We just made the announcement today. Music video will play before the episode, so check that out. Guys, this has been another one. Shout out to Dubby. Shout out to Ultimate Max. Also, I want to say thank you to everybody that's done thoughts and prayers, everything regarding my son. Personally, I've been going through an emotional roller coaster with that, but I want to thank everyone that has bought a t-shirt, stuff like that. It's been absolutely amazing to me. But guys, thank y'all for joining Commission Talks. We went way over the rail. I can't believe we went a full hour on one topic. But guys, this is another one. We love y'all, and we will see y'all next week. I think it'll either be on Dre's or on the Off the Top Ropes podcast. I don't know if Shiz is going to be able to do it due to work issues or anything like that. But guys, thank y'all for watching. We love y'all, and we will see y'all next week. Later.